Hello and welcome to game 5 against Triple Range Merge. This kingdom gave me a lot of trouble. You could see some allies cards here, Island Folk. Trouble in the sense I didn't really know what to do or how to go about it. At the end, I decided that playing King's Court on Cardinal was the thing that you wanted to do the most here. That is not correct, as you'll see later on in the game. There's some trashing. I didn't see any draw initially, except for King on Secret Passage or Sacrifice, trashing 3 actions, which seemed too cumbersome for me. So I figured I would try to get thin, and getting thin would help me to play King, King, Cardinal, Cardinal, Cardinal more often, and hopefully exile my opponent's deck into oblivion. So they start off, they get a Sycophant. Now the Sycophant gives you 2 favors when you gain it or when you trash it, which works well with Island Folk. You get 5 favors. You could spend it for an extra turn. So you get a full 5 cards, you get all your buys, everything. Just have to accumulate the favors necessary to do so. So they triple range, gets the Sycophant, presumably for that. I don't know what else it's good for in this kingdom. I go for research. Now, lots of ideas are here. Research first. I do want a university. Maybe potion first. Maybe sacrifice first. Why did I go for the research first? Well, I might be able to hit 5 after trashing an estate. And I would get the falconer, and then the falconer could get me the potion. There are not really great targets for the university here. The best target is Falconer, and then Falconer can get you all the 4 costs. Really. So I wasn't in too much of a hurry to get the university. So I open with the research, and so does triple range. So they open Sycophant research. I can go with a Sycophant too here. But the Sycophant isn't really a good card. It's there mostly for the 2 favors, honestly. So I gotta develop to help me trash more quickly. Now, here, this is uncomfortable for me. Triple range gets a reasonable hand. They get 4. I think they buy another Sycophant. No, they get a sacrifice. Alright, so I have 2 options here. Research trash copper, develop trash copper, pass turn. Or, I think this is better than that, develop the research into a 5 cost, the Falconer, and a 2 cost, which is going to be a silver. It doesn't make sense top decking a develop with the Falconer. I can't trigger the Falconer anyway, so I didn't see any point to doing that. And then I buy another silver. Why am I buying silver? Because I need to be able to afford King's Court somehow. That is really why I'm buying the silver. Triple range gets a research down, trashing an estate. So they have 2 cards set aside for next turn. Big hand size coming in. They buy a Sycophant here. Now that Sycophant triggers my Falconer. I had plans here to gain a potion by traveling fair, top deck my university, but because they triggered it on their turn, I could do something a little more exciting, which is gain an action card to my hand, and then I'll be able to play it. So I go for that. They get their first Island Folk turn here, which lets them see the cards of the research. Sycophant discards 3 cards, and they almost get the King's Court, but not quite. That's fine. They probably will take a Falconer here of their own. Seems like a very good card in the kingdom. Alright, so here's my research. Trash the estate with 4. What do I get? I don't think it's time yet for the Cardinal. I probably want one more piece of trashing, and that form of trashing is going to be another research. And it was at this point I realized that there is draw in the kingdom. You have to look hard, look very hard. The draw is in research. So the second research, hopefully from here on out, or very soon anyway, I could always have a research and play with 2, 3, 4 cards. I can gain expensive cards with the Falconer, well, up to 4 anyway, and the University up to 5. Trash them, just gain a random Explorer, trash it with the Research, sorry. Store 5 cards away for next turn. Alright, triple range gets a sacrifice out. Not that great of a turn, but it's the beginning of the game. What do you expect, 5 here is going to be... This is interesting. So I thought that would have been a Falconer. They opt to top deck a Develop instead. So let's see what they do with that. I am fortunate and see my second research here with an estate. So that's great news for me. I am able to gain my potion and my university here. Now, let's see what that top deck Develop was about. If it yielded anything for triple range. Because they shuffled their deck. It's not like they knew what was in the back and then decided to top deck a Develop for that. They get their research out, trashing an estate, puts aside a couple cards. And they make an interesting play here with the Develop, actually. I thought this was kind of unexpected for sure, but I thought it was bad. I'll say it. They get rid of their Falconer, which I saw as a very important card, and opt to gain a gold and a research instead. So the research is fine. The gold, okay, maybe they trash the gold with the research, but they have different plans. My big research draw here gets me up to enough money for King's Court, right? So I have the 1. I could probably get rid of the silvers now, if I have 1, I could always King's Court a Cardinal and probably get up to 7 again for King's Court. Alright, so another research for them. They trash a Sycophant, so they get favors for that, and they are able to get the King's Court with that gold they top decked. Alright, so I get rid of my silver. I gain a research on a Sycophant, and I'm going to buy a Sycophant here just to trigger Island Folk. I would like to see my King's Court as soon as possible. I do see it, not with the best of hands here, but we will take it. The nice thing is that you see your hand before deciding whether or not you want to trigger the Island Folk. So even better. So I clean up a couple cards there, get rid of the Sycophant as well. Gain some favors back, pass it back. Alright, so triple range is connecting the researchers as well. Sacrifice just trashed a Sycophant to gain some cards, actions, and favors. Research put aside a couple cards, and 5 here. They will replace their Falconer here. So I thought maybe they would play the game without Falconer, but no. Of course you play the game with Falconers. What are you saying? Alright, so here now I just had to go back and check the double types because I can do something cute here and trigger the Falconer from hand. So I gain a Cardinal, and the Cardinal will allow the Falconer to come from the hand. The Falconer comes from the hand, and now I can gain another action. I can gain a sacrifice, as I do in this case here. It helps to thin, it helps to trash Sycophants. I could trash other action cards as well. So I didn't have to gain a Cardinal there. Research or Sycophant would have triggered the Falconer as well, but I wanted the sacrifice to trash the copper and still leave me with enough money to buy another university. Research sets aside 4 cards for me here. So I get my second university. Very happy about the universities. Very, very happy. Triple range is able to trash 3 cards with their research and develops their gold into King's Court and a Falconer. That's a great target for develop gold. So they get King's Court and Falconer on top of the deck. So I know they have the Falconer on top of the deck. So do I play around it? No, because too many of the cards that I want are double type. So I will end up triggering that Falconer out of their hand anyway, I felt. So we start off here. And here, at this point, we already have many points, many decision points here. So for example, in this hand, how do you play this to get the most value out of it? Do you king the university? Do you king the develop? Do you king the cardinal? I don't know, king in university does seem tempting. You can gain lots of falconers potentially, or whatever action card you like. Up to you really. In the end, I decided to king the cardinal to try to do some damage to their deck. I don't know how effective that was. I think it missed 2 times out of 3, which is not good. I use my university to gain a falconer. I'm not going to play around the falconer in their hand. I want a falconer they could trigger it. And in some sense, that's better for me because then they don't get to king a falconer if they do that. So triple range gains a sycophant. I will also gain a sycophant of my own here because I want an extra turn. So I'll be able to develop the silver into a research on a sycophant and buy another king's court. So I'm happy I have 2 king's courts now and I get the extra turn. It isn't the greatest of hands, but still I wanted to see the king's court there, but oh well. Alright, so I have the university now. I will do the same trick that I did last turn where I gain a double type just to trigger the falconers from my hand. So it will be a sacrifice and another sacrifice. This sacrifice will draw me deeper into the shuffle to find my king's court, or one of them anyway. I could go looking even deeper into the shuffle by trashing the cardinal. But I decided not to do that. I decided to go ahead and king the cardinal again. This one is a little more impactful. So I'm hoping it slows them down. They set aside quite a few good cards there. And I am able to get a 3rd king's court here. Now all looks fine and dandy at this point, right? All looks fine and dandy. There are lots of gains. I mentioned at the beginning that playing king's court on cardinal is not the thing to do here. And you'll see why on this turn, I believe, from triple range. So believe it or not, they pile out on me here and they win. I know. I know. So let's see how this whole thing plays out, because I really had no idea they could do it. Even across 2 turns. I mean, come on. Are you for real? They have 5 falconers, 3 researchers, 4 sycophants, 6 sacrifices, plus you need points. No, right? Let's see. It happens. So let's see how it happens. And they take their time. I mean, understandably so. I was taking my time here too. And perhaps you already saw parts of my turns that I did suboptimally or I could have improved upon. Please let me know. Here's where they show me you don't want to be king in the cardinal, brother. You want to be king in the falcon or the gain cards. So they go king, king, falconer. King, king, falconer. So they gain some cards to their hand. I have no idea. They gain a develop, a secret passage, and a research. So the research allows me to trigger my falconer. Now, I was a little bit concerned about piles. So I decided to just take a safe secret passage and pass it back to them. I also considered estate there, but I thought maybe that would, make it a little too easy to pile out. Gaining the estate would not have helped either with the pile out, you'll see. Alright, so king, king, falconer for them. Then the falconer is followed by a secret passage. It will draw some cards. Also lets them shape their hand, so they have whatever they want in their hand. Right, and also gives them actions. Not that they needed it, I think, but I think the important part is to shape the hand. Now, this cardinal, I can play through this cardinal. It doesn't exile anything too impactful for me here. Right, so that's the end of the king's courts for them, right? I did not account for this card. The develop. Develop trashes a research, so they gain a falconer on top of their deck. And they gain another develop. So that's very good for them. Research sets 4 aside. And they have 6 coin here. I imagine they wanted 7 for another king's court. But 6, I believe, is going to be another falconer. And they will take their extra turn now with the island folk. Actually, it's our top deck secret passage. Not even our falconer. Wow. Alright, so this is the final turn of the game. Believe it or not, I don't see it myself. So they lead secret passage. Obviously, they want to find king, king. That's how any pile out starts out, or any big turn. I was already trying to plan what I would do on my turn. Haha, like you would have a turn. I was concerned that they would take all the sycophants from me and not allow me another island folk turn. Yeah, little did I know the kind of danger I was in. All right, so a couple secret passages come out. By now they have what they want, right? Yes, they do. It's called King King. Now, what is the lead here? King King Falconer, I think, is the lead. I really didn't think they could do it because I did not confidently develop in my calculations. I wasn't sure, but I thought, okay, there's no way. There's too many cards. It's too difficult, I thought, for them to gain the 5 course, the Falconers, because they don't have universities. I have the universities. So they could gain a bunch of 4 costs with the Falconers, but I didn't think they could do much more than that. So they proved me wrong, and it does start with the Falconer. All right. I don't know how they calculated this because I wish I could be able to calculate this. So they go what? Falconer gains a sycophant. Fine. That's the first one. Then they trigger this Falconer from the hand. So I thought that was a misplay. Maybe they wanted to do King King Falconer Falconer something, but I guess they were fine with this. Here's the kicker. Develop gains a heap of cards. Falconer gains 1 card, right? Develop can gain 2 cards, and they get 3 players of the develop off the bat here. So they develop a bunch of cards, and the develop lets them get the 5 costs. So their 3 choices for King's Court here were Falconer, develop to stuff the top of the deck, and then sacrifice to draw into the cards that they top decked with the develop. So now they're out of King's Courts, but they have all these Falconers that they gain from the develop that helps them to empty the sycophants. And then the develop lets them empty the Falconer, and they have enough money because of a sycophant, ironically, to buy an estate and win here. I didn't think the estate mattered because I think they could have generated enough money for a duchy if they needed it. So very well played by Triple Range. They absolutely deserve that one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.